So I flew and I took a taxi to get to you, and I'm just so oh. Wait, you're not, sorry, I'm, this is the house, I'm so sorry. Does Daniel Harding live here? I'm looking for Daniel Harding. He lives here. I thought, he doesn't, does he? I am so embarrassed. It was this crazy woman, and what is she doing here? I honestly thought he'd be here. I always thought he'd be here. Always. Do you know him? Big guy, big tall guy, played basketball, all Eastern Maine Center. Strong, played hockey too. Do you know him? You know what, don't even answer that. I know that's a horrible thing to ask people in a small town. God, as if everybody in town knows everybody else. I can't believe I asked that. I don't live here anymore, but when I did, I used to hate it when people would assume I knew everyone in town just because it was small. God, it was worse than when they'd ask if we had plumbing way up there. Because, you know, people in small towns don't really know people any better than they do in big towns. You know who you know, and you don't know who you don't know, just like anywhere else. I'm so sorry to have bothered you. I just was so sure. When his parents passed away, he kept the house. I heard he stayed here. He lived here, I thought. He was one of the ones who stayed. I didn't stay. I went away.
What's that from?
It's from a play called Almost Maine. It's a collection of short scenes and love stories and misconnections.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I thought this opened really strong. Loved your pace, loved your breath, good vocal projection, all those things. You were nice and still. You were in your light. So you've learned from everybody else that got up there. But you know, there's a moment when you suddenly look up and there's that person standing in the doorway that's not who you were expecting to see, and then it dawns on you, he doesn't live here, does he?
Yeah.
And I got to ask myself a whole series of questions about reaction to discovery.
Okay.
You know, if you've come here to profess your undying love for this guy, and throw yourself into his arms and live happily ever after, and then you find out that he gave you the wrong address, like giving you a fake phone number in a bar because he never wants to hear from you again.
Oh.
Like that's what he's done, for all intents and purposes, because you're standing on the wrong doorstep.
It's in the scene. It is like they grew up together. They were together. He asked her to marry him,
Mm-hmm.
and she wanted to go travel the world and leave the small town. So it's his house.
Mm-hmm.
Just in her head, he was always going to be there forever. He stayed and he waited, and he didn't.
And he didn't wait.
He didn't.
Either way, the
Yeah.
same valuation is the result.
Okay.
Right? And it would have given you, at that moment, where do you go and what do you do? I think an unself-conscious reality would be that you feel sorrow. You also feel kind of pitiful for having wasted this opportunity.
A bit embarrassed.
And
Yeah.
embarrassment. And so there's a mixture, it's like a little slurry of bad stuff, right? That I think carries you through to what I think is an overwritten monologue. I think there's way too much exposition right after that moment.
Okay.
And I would have cut to the end. I would have dropped like 2 big long sentences out of this.
Okay.
Because I don't need to know all that shit. I know everything I need to know.
Okay.
Right? I know that you're full of wanderlust. I know you ran off to explore the world and discover yourself, thinking that this guy would always wait for you, and you come home and he has moved on.
Yeah.
And even if he was standing in the door, imagine if he was standing in the doorway with his arm around his wife. What would your reaction be?
No legs.
Yeah.
Whoosh.
But see,
Yeah.
there's where you're
Yeah.
raising stakes, and that's where then you get to pull the meat away from the bone of this scene, and that's what I want to see an actor do.
Yeah.
Right? That sort of existential Rolfing experience is what gives us that breathlessness as an audience. Right?
Okay.
And you played the transition beautifully, but you didn't give me the reward.
Okay.
I wanted to see you turn into that little girl who believed in true love, and it doesn't exist for her
Yeah.
right now in this space. And that
See the
would have broken
difference.
my heart. Right?
Yeah.
Michael Shirtliff always said, I quote Shirtliff a lot because he was my mentor, and Mike always said that every actor's job was to make someone feel a little less lonely in the dark.
I love that.
Yeah, it chokes me up every time I say it. But it's true, because we go into a darkened theater expecting you to make us feel, not to show us your feelings,
Yeah.
right? And I thought that moment was more show than share
Okay.
for me. And only because you didn't go there. You went right back up into that twittering, giggly, Goldie Hawney kind of thing, and to cover your embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see you be embarrassed.
Okay.
I want to see you embrace your fear of being alone, your embarrassment at having taken this risk and making a fool of yourself. And what do you do next?
Thank you.
All right, well, I'll give you the point form of that.
Sorry.
No, it's good, it's good. But my point, you've filled in all my little points here. So I thought you started very strong, very strong. And it's really interesting. I got shivers, which is great. It's interesting because most actors don't start strong. By the end, they finish strong. They're all warmed up and ready to go, except it's over. So you actually started right out of the gate, which was really nice, and it's a really important point. I see it so often, and
Like a prize fighter.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
ding, and you came on swinging.
and
I
if
love
I'm
that.
watching a self-tape from somebody sending me a submission, and they're not grabbing me in the first 15 seconds, holy smokes. It's going to take a good mood for me to continue on.
Okay.
So you really do want to, and you did. You came out of the gate right away. At first I thought it was nerves, but no, it wasn't. It was perfect for the character. So that was really good. Then you lost it. And I thought, she's lost it. She doesn't know where she is. She's trying to find where she is. And I could only think this because I couldn't follow you.
Okay.
So the energy was great. And then I imagined that you had maybe even forgotten your lines and were trying to act your way till you remembered them. That was a possibility.
Okay.
So it left me open to imagining things. And that's always dangerous.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
ask
Yeah.
all my boyfriends.
Well, especially if those imaginings are positive things, right?
Yeah.
And it's like when you create questions, you create doubt,
Okay.
right? And Bella said something really powerful, and that was if you don't come out of the gate swinging within a few seconds into performance, we're not interested. And I know, because I'm trying to sell actors to television networks and studios all the time as a casting director, that every network executive sits with his hand on the skip button. And if you don't come out swinging and be fully in the moment, and be in that moment before we've hit rolling, then they hit skip. They don't want to see you come onto it. And so you came out of the gate swinging. I thought I was in New York auditioning, because actors in New York come into the room and it's like, they can't wait to show me what they've got. And it's really, actors in Toronto come into the room and go, thank you for having me, I'm sorry, thank you, sorry. Right? It's that top of this thing that's so engaging, and if I just cut it when you opened the door,
Yeah.
you could have had us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
I felt like you didn't do enough homework.
You know-
Which is what I kept thinking. She hasn't really done enough homework. Like maybe you pulled this out of your ass. maybe, maybe not. And I don't mean to be so mean and crude, but I felt like you had very strong moments and you had very weak moments. And you needed more clarity. You needed more clarity so that I could follow along.
Where I was mentally.
Yeah.
Share
Or that then I could dream and figure out what it was. You give me and then I can, you know, you allow me then to see in it what I need to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I felt you just didn't do enough homework.
I felt I think what ended up happening, I actually got coaching on this prior to this event, and I've been doing this monologue for a while, and they changed me to coach me into this way of doing it, and I think the problem is that a couple of those moments aren't my truth with it, but then, so I think that kind of threw me out of, like, kind of the moments that I wanted to do with it, because I do normally take it, which is unfortunate, but.
Yeah, no, it's all good. This is like,
that's not how I want to.
This is workshoppy, you know?
Yeah, this is a safe place, right?
Yeah.
And it's a good place to do this and get this feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
And, but don't ask for your money back. Honestly, I think what I get for free from you is of far greater value than the process that I watch you just go through.
Okay.
Right? So look, you have innate timing and great breath and presence. And you need to have great faith and trust in that, because it can sustain a career. When you ring that doorbell, and the door opens, and the future's not there. And there can only be one result from that conclusion. And it gotta break your heart. And if you break your heart, you'll break ours. But thank you for your risk.
This?
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
I think it's really good. It's all kinds of people. It looks like you. It's pleasant. It's pretty.
But I would crop most of the blouse out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you could probably take it to there.
I'd take it into here.
And the other thing is, it's a real commercial shot. You would get some commercial work from this.
Yeah, you would.
I like
Pepsi and smile.
I like your hair shorter than it is longer.
Okay.
It just suits you better, and it makes you a little bit older. This has a little, it's too long. This is more mod. More mod and fresh, and this picture's mod and fresh. So, yeah, I'd go back to that, but that's me.
I've been wanting to do that anyway, so that's.
Mod, who doesn't want to be mod and fresh, right? Hey, Ron?
Yeah, I'm doing my best.